of hair, and so on and so forth. And it's, this is interesting stuff. And what's kind of cool about it is if you pull on just one end of it, it'll just pieces will just come right out and come apart, which is pretty cool. And I know you guys back there can't see it, so I'll do this again with the other prop in a minute. But so that's kind of neat. You can just pull stuff apart. If while you're doing that, you kind of twist it up, you get to where you can't pull it apart anymore. So in the act of twisting these fibers together, you've made something that's way stronger than what they were individually. This has potential, dudes. We could do stuff with this. This is going to be better than animal sinew, because I could make this as long as I can imagine. Instead of being only as long as a piece of animal sinew or a piece of cut-up hide is, this could be long enough to go around the world, dudes. I could make so much of this, There's no limit. So the benefit to this is immediately apparent. And then you realize that, you can keep doing this, and you can put it next to other stuff, and then when the twist gets into that, it grabs hold and it sticks. You could do this forever. You seriously could, and make so much of this yarn. It would be, I can think of a billion things I could do with it, So, but on the other hand, it's kind of slow doing this whole twiddling it with my fingers thing. So it's a likely bet, and we know this from some archaeological finds and various things, that people went quickly from there to rolling it down something, such as a thigh. And wow, look, you get so much more twist in there, so much faster. And you can work with that, and you can work with that. But you've still got a problem, which is, what do you do with this yarn that you've just made? You need to store it somewhere. It's got to go on something. So a common thing that people found laying around in many circumstances is a stick. And you can take a stick, or I don't know, I got a pen. It's kind of like a stick. So, if I just wrap this around this pen, I can use it to store it. And then I can keep making more and making more and making more, and I can use that to store it. What's really interesting about piling up yarn by wrapping it around a stick is eventually it gets heavier in places, and then when you go to kind of twirl it, putting the twist in there, it'll keep moving. And lo and behold, we have the spindle, a piece of technology substantially older than the wheel, potentially older than the lever. So we're talking about one of the most fundamental technologies in human civilization, a really basic machine, the stick with a weight on it. And it changed the whole world. Because once you can produce large quantities of yarn, you can totally change the world. You can do a whole lot of stuff. Interestingly, when we look at the evolution of human culture from being hunters and gatherers into being cultures that build permanent settlements, or the transition from being nomadic to being people who live in cities and live in the same place and engage in agriculture, we see that there are nomadic